Hi there folks, back again for another video. In this one, I just wanted to do a little bit of a kind of update PSA type thing because I found something that was pretty nifty while doing a little bit of searching online today. So one of the things that I quite like doing is building lists and all that kind of good stuff for use in sort of future planning and all that kind of thing. We're building armies and stuff. And it's actually usually quite good having things like the 40k app and stuff for building armies for Warhammer 40,000. It's quite nice to sit down there and just, while you're having a cup of tea, bosh together a list or something like that. And it kind of sparks imagination and gets you thinking about new hobby projects and all that kind of good stuff. And that's basically the same when it comes to Middle-earth strategy battle game as well. I really like sitting down with the books, just going through them, picking out cool characters and ideas and working out how I'd build lists around them and all that kind of good thing, that kind of stuff as well. So what was quite nice is I was sort of browsing around on the internet, and I found this Reddit post from WiseMonkey007, who had been talking about building an app tool for army building in MESBG. And so I thought I'd have a little play around with it and see what it was like, so I could, report back to folks and see what I think. And I got to say, Wise Monkey, I think you've done a pretty darn good job on this one. I think it's been around for, well, it was started 2 months ago. It was made available to people through things like Reddit and stuff 2 months ago, and it was last updated on December the 1st, so it's still being worked on up until this point, which I think is quite nice. And it kind of does a lot of the heavy lifting for me when it comes to army building, which is really good. This is going to be no substitute for you having the books and all that kind of thing, but this is a great way for you to kind of sit down and build up interesting armies and come up with fun ideas. And I built a couple of them here so you can have a look at them, and we can just go through them as well, I suppose. So the first one I built was based around my current project that I'm working on, which is Moria warband, or Moria army that is focused around Balin, and Flowy Stonehand and stuff like that. And so in this one we have Balin there, so you choose a hero that will be useful, that'll lead your warband effectively, and then you add the units individually to them. If they've all got the same weapons and stuff, then you simply just, add the amount that you need for that. But if you have to choose different options, then you go through and you select the particular one, and then you add the number that you need in order to bring that to life as part of the warband. Another nice little thing that's quite cool about this is that you can click on this and it will it'll bring up a profile card. So if you're somebody who wants to get your hands on quick reference sheets and that kind of stuff, you've got the options to do that there as well. I think it's quite cool. And you can even download these as part of your roster table, which we'll show you later actually. But another thing that's really good about this is it calculates your bow limit, which is always nice. It tells you about your alliance level between the different alliances that you have for your particular army. In the case of this one, because it's because it's particularly Moria, there's not very much for you to be doing around with there, especially with the fact that you've got Balin in there and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that's the first warband there that's made up. This was for a 600 point list, by the way. So you've got the Kazakh Guard and the Dwarf Warriors. Then Flowy Stonehand, and you can see their warband limit there as well. So it's a quick reference for those people who are trying to build armies and maybe getting started, and then going, what does Fortitude mean again? What does Legend mean again? All that kind of thing. Here you can see a little bit more of a breakdown of this. So this was building up 10 Dwarf Warriors to go as part of Flowy's warband. So you had the 4 with bows there, 4 with the shields, 1 with the Warhorn and 1 with the banner. That's an easy way of doing that. And then finally got the Dwarf Captain there alongside a band of Dwarf Rangers. And again, done a little bit of a breakdown there, covering those with two-handed axes, those with longbows, and those with throwing axes. And as you can see, it all sort of ties back into that bow limit there as well. So you've got some nice detailed information as you're building your armies, which is always good. To see. Same for this. So this was for a 400 point warband. So this was one that I used not too long ago with some friends. So I've got Lurtz leading this one with Ugluk, and this was just a big hefty list full of stuff. So this was 15 Uruk-hai warriors with their shields and hand weapons at the ready, and then you've got the scouts, which were the other side underneath Ugluk there, and again does exactly the same thing. Tells you your bow limit, how much you've done of it that is applicable to what you're doing there. It'll also make sure that you kind of take into account things that don't count towards your bow limit. So for example, in this Rohan list, obviously Riders of Rohan come with bows and things, but they don't count towards your bow limit. And then throughout this, as you can see, there's no bows in there at all. So it didn't count any of those, despite the fact that the Rohan riders have bows, which is applicable to the rules, which is quite nice. So yeah, it also gives you your special rule and stuff, which is always nice to see. So that's a great help, again, for those people who are looking to build armies quickly and that kind of thing. And I think they've done a really nice job of making this quite clean and easy to use. It is a browser-based app at the moment, but you could easily bring this up on something like a tablet, I think, and you could import your lists and stuff if you wanted to. So there's an import option there. You can also export the list as well, so that you can then bring it back in. You just have to, if I click this, it'll see. So it saves as a text file. So it's just copied someone to your clipboard, and then you just put it back in once you've found that as part of your notepads and stuff like that. You can obviously see this, which is kind of like a breakdown of what you've done for the army. So if you wanted a quick look at how your roster pans out, you've got this, and that can come in a text print view as well. So if you wanted to just take that and put that into a notepad, you can. The other nice thing about this, and you'll see it here, is you could do this profile cards button, and this will give you a download that will feature all of the profiles that you have in your warband. So in this case, it'll give me profile cards for Lurtz, the Urukai Warriors, Ugluk, and the Scouts. Again, this is no substitute for your rulebooks, because you'll have all the other things you need to know in there. So, for example, if there are any particular special rules, this doesn't tell you the special rules. But if you had, or like how to do any of these things, like heroic strike, march, etc. So this is not going to replace the rules anytime soon, which I think is quite good. But it's just a helpful aid for those people who are looking to dive in and have some fun when it comes to army building, and just make the process that little bit easier. Maybe do it in your break at work and that kind of stuff, which I think is quite nice. And considering that I've been looking for one of these for a really long time, it was good to see one just pop up as part of the Reddit for Middle-earth miniatures, which I thought was quite nice. And it seems like a lot of people have dived in and had some fun with this themselves, making little army lists and that kind of thing. I think there are still a few things that need to be tweaked and ironed out, and maybe a few profile cards that need to be added and that kind of thing as well. But it seems like, as I say, updated on the 1st of December. So the designer, Wise Monkey, is still working away on this and building on it, which I think is quite nice. The fact that it shows the artwork of characters and stuff in the little images, I think is a really nice little touch. And the fact that you can kind of copy things and stuff as well, I think is a really good way of doing stuff. I like that it breaks things down into different elements as well. So when you build it, you're not going to have to put in like 12 dwarf warriors and then individually select what all of them have. It kind of works a little bit more like the 40k app, I guess, in some ways, when you kind of go through. Actually, no, it works. It's kind of like half and half, I guess. But I think they've done a really nice job here with stuff like this, where you just build up the 4 that you need and then you put them in, and it gives you the points per unit as well. So it's a really nice way for you to be like, right, okay, so I've gone over by 10 points. Well, if I take this one out, that'll bring me down to the limit that I need, and under 600, etc., etc. So I did one there for the Kingdom of Moria. So this was my list that I'm currently working on at the moment. So I pretty much got all the models for this one, and I'm working my way through them. I think the only 2 models that need to be painted for this are the 2 dwarf warriors with the 2-handed axes and daggers, and then they'll be sorted, which I think is quite nice. This Urukai one is all done, all good to go. And then you have this one here, which is one that I've been working on for a little while as well. It's currently only at 400 points, but I'm hoping to take it a little bit higher as well. So this one's my Theodred warband, based on his fight at the Fords of Eisen. So I've built this up, which I think is quite nice. And as you can see, it's doing all the individual elements. You can add the Helmingas upgrades for those following Grimbold, which I think is a really nice touch there. And yeah, it came together really nicely, which I think is a great idea. And then I thought, well, why didn't I just show you how to do one of these? So yeah, you've got the good armies here, and they're broken down as part of this list. So you got them all there, all the way through to the Wild Men of Druadan. You've got the evil armies as well, all included there. Then you've got the good legendary legions and evil legendary legions. So if you want to go through and you wanted to do Helm's Guard, or you wanted to do the Riders of Eomer, or you wanted to do the Riders of Theoden, it gives you the specific units that you can actually take as part of that in terms of heroes and all that kind of thing, which I think is a really nice little touch there too. Always good to see. So if you're looking to build up some interesting, well, that's the Riders of Theoden obviously there, but Theodred's Guard, there you go. Theodred, Elfhelm, Grimbold, and the Captain of Rohan are your hero choices for this particular entry, which I think is quite nice. And then it'll obviously then plug in what units you need for that as well, which I think is a good touch. Same for evil as well. So you've got all the different legendary legions, or at least most of them anyway, that you can see here. So Lurtz's Scouts, for example, is a really cool one that I'd love to do. What's another one that's really nice, actually? Ugluk Scouts, I think that's quite cool. Ugluk Scouts is probably a good one as well, because that allows you to put in Grishnak and Snagger, and I really like those orcs, so you can have some fun with that one if you wanted to go down that route, which I think is quite nice. So they've done the legendary legions there as well, which is always good to see. It'd be interesting to see whether or not they actually put in particular special rules for these. So let's go if we do that, and then we go Ugluk. So there you go. So it gives you the special rules underneath for Ugluk as well, so you can flick through and you can see what works for this. And then if we go to add units, choose warriors, there you'll see the warriors that are available to these particular characters, which I think is quite a nice little touch there. Very good to see. Let's see when I add another warband. Let's go Snagger. So he wants some units. So if we go warriors there, orc warriors. So it's done a really nice job of kind of balancing things out there, so it's nice and easy for you to use, which is always good to see. And hopefully this isn't something that's going to get, trashed or whatever. I think this is a really handy way for people to build up fun armies and actually just have some fun theory crafting, which is always good to see. I don't think anything replaces sitting there with the book and a calculator and some paper and sort of doodling away. Or in my case, sitting in front of my computer and having lots of notepads up and the calculator on there so I can do all the stuff. But this could be really handy, as I say, for those people who want to quickly build army lists. And as long as everything's okay in terms of rules-wise and stuff in there, I think you'd be pretty much sound. It's probably good to double-check when you're building armies through something like this, especially since it's unofficial. But I think they've done, as I say, a nice job on this one. So let's build a warband here. So we're going to do one based on an idea that I've had recently, so Minas Tirith. So let's build this out of what we've got in the Battle of Osgiliath box. So we've got Faramir as one of the heroes. We need a couple more heroes as well. So we have, where are they? Was it Damrod? I can't remember who's in the warband now. Madril. I think it's Madril. It's Madril. And then one more. So let's have a look at there. I do like Kyrian. Mablung and Madril. Is it Mablung and Madril? Or is it Damrod? I can't remember. Let's look it up. Battle of Osgiliath. Set. Boom. So we go to here. Oh yes, of course it tells me to do that. Yeah, Madril and Damrod. I knew it was Damrod. There we go. Madril and Damrod. So we've done that there. So we've got all the options that we needed on that front, which is quite nice. Actually, let's keep this up because we can use this to see what's inside the box set. So I think you get, 12 of each of the... can you go back up? Wow, you can't go back up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 of each, essentially. So if we go into... Well, Faramir is going to have some, isn't he? So we're going to have 12 warriors of Minas Tirith. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of these have spears and shields. 4 of these have shields. And then 4 of these have bows. So there we go. So that's one warband done. nice and easily, now that I've actually gone onto the website and had a look at that. We're doing this in real time, folks. We're doing this in real time. There's no editing here. So then we've got Madrill. So let's look at Madrill. How does he work? So he's got that reinforcement rule, hasn't he? And then we've got Damrod here as well. Very nice. I think Damrod's the one who's going to get the other 12. So we're going to do Rangers of Gondor. So these are all mixed between. So actually, there's only a certain few of them that have spears. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4 with spears, I want to say. Yeah, 4 with spears. So we'll do the 4 with spears first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll do the other 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the 12. So that's that all done. And as you can see, that's exceeded our bow limit. When we get to 360 points there. So then we've got Damrod, obviously, as well, leading the way. So you've got those. So if we were going to take this up to a 400-point warband, what would we do? Well, I remember diving in and getting some Osgiliath veterans. So let's go and get the Osgiliath veterans there. So I believe you get 3 of them in the set. Let's... Osgiliath veterans. These are the ones that I got. Something went wrong. What? Well, that's just rude. Silly Games Workshop. There we go. So you got 1 with a bow, 1 with a spear, and 1 with a sword and shield. So we want 1 with a bow, 1 with a spear, and 1 with a sword and shield. So there's the one with the shield. There's the one with the spear, and there's the one with the bow. So we are currently way over our bow limit. So we've got 63% of our force have bows. So we are breaking the rules as it stands. So we're going to have to take some of these out of the equation. So I reckon we get rid of those. So that's helped a little bit. What else are we going to do? Let's have a look at these ranges. Boom, boom. Probably don't need to have all of these ranges, I guess. So let's go boom, 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 boom. Obviously, if we're going to be making a larger warband, then this doesn't necessarily matter, does it? I guess. So let's go back and add in these warriors with their bows. Boom, 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 boom. So then we just need to pack things out with more stuff. So we're going to add another warband in here. We're going to choose a character. I think we want to do a captain, perhaps. Captain might not necessarily be a bad idea. So let's do a captain of Minas Tirith. Let's give him a horse. Let's give him a shield. And then we'll add some knights of Minas Tirith. So Minas Tirith, Knights of Minas Tirith. How many do we get in a set for that? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So we add 6 Knights of Minas Tirith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to give them shields as well. So that gets us to 536 points, which isn't too bad at all. Let's look at what we could do to tweak this a little bit to help when it comes to our bow limit. So let's knock these down a little. Let's get rid of them entirely. 45%. Ugh. Oh, because of course we've got rid of the numbers, haven't we? That's the thing there. Let's add those back with the bows. So, bum, bum, bum. We haven't even given a bow to Faramir. He needs a bow as well. Madrill has a bow. Damrod has a bow. Too many bows. And we're on 541 points. So let's have a think about more characters that we'd add into this. Let's do another warband. Choose some more heroes. How much is Gandalf is 220 points. I don't think we're going to throw Gandalf in there. We could do Denethor, I suppose, couldn't we? That could be quite an interesting one. We could use Pippin. We could use Beregond. Let's go through and do. Let's do Denethor, and let's add a few more warriors of Minas Tirith. So if we do them, we give him 5 of them. Oh, that's way too many. Boom, boom. 3 with shields. Takes me to 600 points. There we go. Now, obviously, this breaks the bow limit, as you can see there. But it does give you an idea of kind of how this works, rather than me going through and having to tweak everything individually to try and make this work. This kind of shows you what it's like building a warband and sort of playing around with it. But this allows you to essentially, once you've got the Battle of Osgiliath set, sit down there and go, right, okay, so I've got all of these things. How do I then turn that into a warband that I can use on the tabletop to play some games with, which I think is quite nice. And as I say, as with all of these, you can just bring it up as a roster table, turn it into the text print view, and away you go. Have some fun. And you've got the special rules there for the alliance and everything else in between as well. So yeah, if you are looking to test something out in the Middle-earth sphere to help you with your list building, why not go and check out MESBG List Builder, which comes from WiseMonkey007. I'll have a link down in the comments below. This is in no way sponsored. I just found this and thought it was pretty cool, so I thought it was worth dropping into the mix. So yeah, come and give it a go yourself. See if you can battle the bow limit, as it were, and we shall see where this goes as it grows in use. Hopefully over the next little while. I'm going to move on and get ready to film another video, and I will see you folks later. Bye for now.